Hello world, it's Mark again with SysManGeekSquad, and today, for those who aren't acquainted, I would like to show you this super cool piece of software called VoiceMeeter. VoiceMeeter is an audio software that is now only designed for Windows OS. Let's jump right into it. VoiceMeeter to me is my Swiss Army knife for all things general audio. It allows you to manage all your plugged-in audio devices to your laptop or computer. When you have it open, you'll find yourself potentially overwhelmed by the user interface, but once you give it some time, everything begins to become more understandable. Now I know I'll probably lose some of you here, but I'll try my best to explain things, so try and hang tight. VoiceMeeter. It divides your computer's audio up into 5 hardware inputs, 3 virtual inputs, and 5 hardware outputs. Your bus selectors help you distribute your audio to the appropriate audio channels for output signals. This could be any sort of microphone, an audio interface for your guitar or piano, or even your computer's stereo mix signal, so you can easily route what you're listening to on your computer as a recordable audio source. One of the main reasons I first got VoiceMeeter was because I had an eagerness for knowledge of electronic dance music production. I wanted to be able to listen to music from software outside of Ableton, my digital audio workstation. This was a big deal to me because as a newbie to learning guitar, I wanted to be able to listen to songs in iTunes and be able to play along with my guitar hooked up to Ableton. It's also always good to have limitless options when jamming. You get the idea. ASIO, which stands for Audio Stream Input Output, is a sound card protocol for computers to allow them to access external hardware without the trade-off of higher latencies and low fidelity. With ASIO, my audio would have severe lag, ranging anywhere from 200 to 300 milliseconds. Here's an example of using ASIO along with using Windows MME DirectX audio drivers just as a comparison.
Check, one, two, check, check. Check, one, two, check. Check, 1, 2, check. Check, 1, 2.
If you didn't catch the exact data, it goes from about 247 milliseconds to about 30 milliseconds in latency. You could see how in most cases this just would not work. Before VoiceMeeter, I would have to install the ASIO drivers independently and be left with other future audio headaches when recording to other ASIO sources inside of the computer. With VoiceMeeter, it seemed to make multiple ASIO and non-ASIO programs work fluidly, whereas before I definitely couldn't run multiple audio programs concurrently. The installation itself of VoiceMeeter is not an overly complicated task for the average user. However, you do have to install software-based audio drivers, which tells you the layers of low-level system communication the software utilizes. The drivers are required to create an intermediary environment for all things audio within Windows. Input and output devices have signal layers that are bypassed with this software emulation to create a more instantaneous communication line, thus reducing latency. The setup itself is basically hit next and allow their in-house audio drivers to install. When your computer has rebooted, open up VoiceMeeter. You may notice at the top, my hardware outputs and inputs are already properly selected. You will have to go to the drop-down menus to pick yours. Now, we want to go to the Windows sound options and change our playback default device to VoiceMeeter VAIO. Tab over to recording and change it to VoiceMeeter aux output. You should now have a properly functioning sound setup. A feature I unexpectedly discovered in VoiceMeeter is VBand, short for VB Audio Network Protocol. It allows you to send audio channels to other devices on the local area network. This was a feature I began to start using this summer as I'd be listening to anything on my computer and would want to walk away and go outside on my front veranda and continue listening. With VBand, it has a mobile app for iOS and Android that will pair with any VBand source on your local area network and allow you to easily connect to it and receive whatever audio sources on your computer you want for it to receive. This has many use cases, I'm sure, and yes, the audio was in perfect sync when I came back indoors. As you can see, I really like VoiceMeeter. There are a lot of use cases I could see this being used, especially when the technology is perfected. The technology is audio over IP, Internet Protocol. If you found this video interesting, I suggest you look more into audio over IP and see the other uses others have made with it. There are some cool ones out there. I want to thank you again for listening today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer. This has been another segment of SysManGeekSquad. Geek out.